At 6 o'clock, we'll call this meeting to order, and perhaps Mr. Randlett would like to lead us in the pledge tonight.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, we will first approve the minutes of our prior meeting, including our work session minutes of February 13th, 2007. If we have a motion to approve those.
I make a motion that we approve minutes.
All right, so there's a motion by Mike and a second by...
I wasn't here.
Second.
It's going to have to be Neil then. All right, and if there's no discussion, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
And then we also have our minutes from February 13th from the regular meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes. Second.
We have a motion and a second on those. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye, that takes care of those. The announcements are that we'll meet on the following dates. The regular meetings, the next regular meetings are on March 13th and March 27th. And as usual, the work review sessions prior to the regular meetings begin at 5. The town elections are scheduled for March 14th from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the elementary school. And our town meeting will be Wednesday, March 15th at 7 p.m. also at the elementary school. Citizens wishing to be listed on the Select Board's agenda should notify the Town Hall before noon the Friday before the meeting. Road bans for the town of Plymouth will be in effect from March 1st through May 1st. And somewhere this is, should I announce the roads? So this is a 15-ton load limit during the period from March 1 to May 1. And the roads that are posted are Bartlett, New Hebron, Old Hebron, Morse, Thurlow, Bell, Reservoir, Cummings Hill, Sanborn, Chase Son, Loon Lake, Parker, and Texas Hill. And that's from our friend Joe Fagnan at the Highway Department. There is a Pemigewasset River flood watch in effect until further notice, and call 911 in the event of an emergency. We have a resolution from Primex, which is our workers' comp insurer. We haven't actually voted, but we discussed at our work session to enter into an arrangement with Primex by which it would cap our workers' comp rate increases to no more than 8% a year for 3 years, which involves agreeing to use them for our workers' comp insurance, I think. And they want us to adopt a resolution, which I'm going to read. This is resolved to accept the offer of the New Hampshire Public Risk Management Exchange, which is Primex, to enter into its workers' compensation contribution assurance program as of the date of the adoption of this resolution, and to be contractually bound to all of the terms and conditions of Primex Risk Management Pool membership during the term of this workers' compensation contribution assurance program, which is 3 years. The coverage provided by Primex in each year of membership shall be as then set forth in the coverage documents of Primex. So we need a motion to adopt this resolution.
I make a motion that we adopt the resolution.
Second.
Seconded by John. There any discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. And that takes care of that. Committee reports. Neil often has something to
Yeah.
say.
Excuse me. I attended the Conservation Commission meeting at the library last Tuesday, and we had a discussion regarding the initiation of a project to assess the culverts on and stream crossings on Tenny Mountain Highway between approximately where the Burger King is and the traffic circle. And we're going to be looking for some collaboration with the university and possibly some funding through the North Country Council.
And what would, Tom, how many culverts are there? Do you-
Well, there are several streams, 2 large streams,
So that are running
and
off the
they
hill
come down off the hill,
toward the baker?
and the runoff from a very large area, there's a very large wetland complex called Blackberry Pond, which is up off Reservoir Road, and it flows down through Tenny Mountain Highway. And the highway was built approximately 60 years ago, and to my knowledge there haven't been any changes. And
To the drainage?
right,
Yeah.
and the hydraulic flow has been increasing over the years because we're getting more frequent storms, more severe storms, and also we're getting more development. That used to be all agricultural land, and now there's a lot of buildings and a lot of pavement there.
You mean on Tenny or uphill?
Well, the emphasis on development is projected to be on the south side of Tenny Mountain Highway, which is up on the upland, away from the river. So there may be some development along the north side, but that's generally where the environmentally sensitive zone is. And the state now has design criteria for wildlife corridors to cross highways so that wildlife can get across highways. Tenny Mountain Highway is known to have a very high turtle kill rate because of the heavy traffic and the inability of turtles to get across. And that's just, one
Never heard
amphibian.
that before.
Yeah. There are a lot of animals that get killed trying to get across Tenny Mountain Highway. So since we are anticipating that the highway eventually will have to be redesigned to increase more flow and more development, the Conservation Commission wants to get started early and have designs for adequate wildlife crossings under the highway when the highway eventually is rebuilt.
Interesting. Yeah.
And this is something that's being done in other
So
areas.
is it more about the wildlife crossings or the drainage?
Well, the primary issues are drainage and wildlife.
Okay.
And the Baker River is a huge area for wildlife. And a lot of the wildlife come from across the river. And the White Mountain National Forest is just on the other side of Loon Lake.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So
We get turkeys and bears
yeah,
down
it's
through our
all
place
kinds
right
of
on
yeah.
fairgrounds,
And
going down to the Baker.
actually, this is leading into another area that the Conservation Commission is interested in, and that is the possible development of ecotourism in the town. Our community has lost all of its major industry. All we have left is the university and the hospital, basically. And we would like to, we feel that we have a lot to offer people that are interested in ecotourism, and it would be a boost to our local economy. And We also discussed doing an inventory on box turtles in the oxbows, which are, it's actually land that Plymouth owns on the other side of the river. When the river jumped its channel, it used to loop around, and then it got cut off when it was a major flood. But the town of Plymouth actually does own land on the other side of the Pemmy River.
On the, what do you mean on the other side?
Well, in between 93
You mean
and the
down
Pemmy River.
south?
Yeah, behind the ice rink. And so we're working on a collaboration between Holderness, Ashland, PSU, and Plymouth to develop that whole area, because all these entities have land abutting the oxbow, and I call it the big moat. And there's a tremendous amount of wildlife down there, and we had a high population of box turtles, but it's really been depleted, and we want to do an inventory on these turtles. Also, we have areas in town where we have, I guess you'd call them mass migrations of amphibians in the spring during spawning season. And we want to identify these areas and maybe perhaps put some signage, where we're especially concerned about Jefferson blue-spotted salamanders, which are rare and endangered, and yellow-spotted salamanders, and other...
Where are they?
Well, there are areas where these amphibians cross roads, and a lot of them get killed. And if we could just maybe have a little signage, or maybe have a little, observation at the time that these events are occurring, we might be able to, prevent some of the carnage on the roads. They travel from their upland areas down into their vernal pools where they, lay their eggs, and the little ones are born and try to go back, and they get run over. So these are things that the Conservation Commission is concerned about. And also they discussed maintenance on trails and parking facilities and things like that. And they're planning for Earth Day, April 22nd.
Yep, okay. It was very educational. Things I didn't know. More things I didn't know.
Well, you could...
Anybody else?
Yeah, I attended a business after hours for the Chamber of Commerce on Thursday, the 16th of February. It was at Woodlands, Woodsville Bank on Tenny Mountain Highway, very well attended. Richard Manzi spoke about the bank and what they're doing. There seems to be an emphasis on loans right now, and maybe some sort of being able to work with a small bank, which is one of the few that are left. So it was very well attended.
Good. John, did you have anything?
Nothing.
And I don't. And looking at my agenda, it appears to me that we are at the end of it.
Okay.
So although this was another record-setting pace for a meeting, I think we're done. So if we have a motion to adjourn.
So move.
By
Second.
John, second by Neil. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.